self-fulfilling prophecy. Kind of mid.
Projections, because they're not going to be on YouTube. I guess we don't care about projections.
No, we're just talking about the pod. Right? We're just talking about the current situation.
And we're here, a surprise impromptu season finale podcast, episode 15 for this season. We have had a lot of results come in that have almost locked up
We're calling the election.
Yeah, we're waiting for Zach's concession call. I'm pretty sure Alex has already conceded. I mean, it would take monumental comebacks for both Zach and Alex to make the championship. So Brad and I are here. The presumptive finalist, Jason Smith, is in the chat. Jerry is with us on the pod and looking like the presumptive non-Sacko.
First of all, what do you mean I'm with you on the pod? Brad is with us on the pod.
That's fair. But
God.
The fuck?
but Jerry is.
But it's valid because it's valid for you to say that because Brad and I are winning.
Jerry is trying to get his not only avoid the Sacko, but trying to get his name on the trophy with Brad's. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna kind of do.
It's valid because it.
Oh, I just heard someone's on.
Yeah, I just opened YouTube and I had to mute it. So.
Production quality going down by the minute. But we are.
This is why we use headphones.
But we are going to.
No.
Brad's over here smug as hell. I'm starting to hate it.
Yeah, you did this. This is your fault.
There's our smudgeness.
So we're gonna. These aren't official recaps yet because the games are still live. But we are gonna kind of explain where we are with each semifinal game. We're also gonna explain where we are with the Sacko final. So as always, in this pod, we start with commissioner's matchup. And yeah, I got myself on the biggest week of the season. My guys came with it.
Chuba Hubbard with an 8-point finisher in overtime that he didn't need to have.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, 2 65-plus rushing yard touchdowns,
and 3 on the day.
You started a Baltimore pass catcher who was pretty mid.
Honestly, he had one catch. It happened to be for a touchdown.
What a fucking day for you.
I'm pretty sure I had. If my math is right, let me actually pull it up right now.
No spoilers, but oh shit, let's go.
We'll get there. I had 11 touchdowns today.
Yeah.
11 tutties.
Yeah, which is kind of why it was annoying when you were projected to win by 50, and you were like, "If I lose at this point, I'm gonna not be playing fantasy football."
No, seriously though, I won't.
Bro, you won.
I know. I'm just saying that if Josh Jacobs has a career high, like his career high is like 48 or 45, whatever I said it was. Like
he'd need 55, right?
He would need 56, I think, essentially.
So, Jerry, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I'm 95% sure that Sean is going to delete the league no matter what happens. If Alex comes back and wins, he's going to rage quit. I don't care about you. If Alex comes back and wins, he's going to rage quit. If I beat him next week, he's going to rage quit. If he wins next week, he's going to quit because he wants to go out on top. Like, in what scenario is the league not done?
I think that Sean has the potential to be a man of honor.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. I will swear on a stack of Bibles right now that I will not delete the league unless Josh. I'm not like barring
you're not allowed to delete the league no matter what. That's not in the Constitution.
Obviously, I'm not going to delete the league. I'm just saying if Josh Jacobs comes back right now, you can understand why I would be motivated to delete the league, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway,
at the beginning.
But yeah, no. I said I almost never do this, but I went back to the pod last week's episode because I was like, I'm pretty sure I called how I could win this game, and sure enough, it was like, oh yeah, Lamar needs to do well, and my running backs have I said in the pod, my running backs have boom potential. James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Taylor. All of them.
Guys, if I score 11 touchdowns, I could win.
I said they have
anyone
boom.
said that
Like, no,
single
I
was true.
seriously said they have boom potential. I also said James Conner and Chuba Hubbard both have really, really good matchups. By the way, James Conner did what he did in basically the first half. He was injured for the second half of the game. He didn't play.
Yeah, I know, Sean. We get it. You run so good. I've been saying this all year. You
Shut
run
up.
so good.
Shut up.
Like everything that could possibly go your way went your way. And like, no, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like Devontae Smith, Jacoby Myers, Rashad Bateman, like they're all kind of mid. Like Devontae Smith's probably the best of that group, but like, no, were all mid. But no, Jonathan Taylor, by the way, fumbles at the 1 yard line last week, and he's just like not gonna let that fucking happen again. 3 fucking touchdowns, 218 yards, by far his best game of the season, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think he's come close to 30 this year, let alone almost cracked
He had
40.
he had a couple games where I think he was sniffing 30. He had a 26-point performance. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so, and I don't know about this. I believe. Okay, no. James Conner had 1 week that was better, but no. Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Taylor both their best games of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
Perfect,
again,
perfect timing for it. And like Alex isn't even gonna have a bad week.
Hubbard's had 24 weeks this season. But again, all I was saying was like I had guys who could boom. They did.
Sure. Yeah, they did, and they did. No, like, because as I was looking at the matchup, I'm like, Alex is gonna fucking win this matchup, just like I said. And then Jonathan Taylor had back-to-back 65-yard touchdowns.
You know, honestly, the one of the other nails in the coffin for Alex that just killed him in the 1 o'clock games was Matt Stafford. Just negative in the first half and never really got it together throughout the game. The Rams had a really bad. They ended up winning, I think, but like they had a really bad game against the Jets from the offense's perspective. Or from a fantasy perspective, I should say.
The fact that they won 19-9 and like 6 points ain't great. But his whole team has scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Can't win against 11. 11 is bigger than 3, guys.
The math is mathing. So, I am almost certainly, in fact, barring anything insane, I am in the finals. Spoiler alert! When Brad said spoiler alert, it was because Bucky Irving pretty much put him in the driver's seat yet again, or put him further in the driver's seat for his semifinal against the box of boxes.
I was in the driver's seat. Now I'm in the driver's seat getting roadhead.
Yeah,
So
pretty much. This is why we invite Brad on the podcast for these that Oscar Wilde metaphor.
Dude, go shit in your hand and clap. Like, fuck you. So I was literally telling Samantha before we got on here. I'm like, she was like, well, why are you doing it tonight if things aren't done yet? I'm like, well, it says I'm 99. It says Sean's 99. It says Brad's 94, which is just bullshit. Because like, Zach has a 4-point lead with the Packers defense. Brad still has Rico Dowdle, Bucky Irving, and Jordan Love. Yeah. I don't understand how it's fucking 94 right now. Like,
I think because again, if Rico Dowdle, Bucky Irving, Jordan Love all have
not 94 if you
like underperforms, right? Like if Jordan Love pulls
no, like it was a 4.5 point lead.
But the Packers D's put up 20 at one point this year. They're playing New Orleans, who is starting who at quarterback,
putting up 20
and throwing to what receiver? I'm just saying, like, stranger things have happened. Obviously, Brad, not just being Brad's in the driver's seat, but I don't think 95 was an unfair projection with where it was.
No, me and Brad are definitely winning. So
I don't think anyone feels bad for Zach.
No,
I don't.
Absolutely
I don't.
not.
Good thing Alvin Kamara isn't starting.
You mean that team with 11 wins? Yeah, no.
And Zach, I mean, obviously, so Brad, explain Jalen Coker over.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah, so I was going through my lineup trying to figure out
how to leave points on my bench.
And who had potential.
I can tell you about that.
Who had boom potential. And Calvin Ridley has broken 10 points like 2 or 3 times this season. He's only scored touchdowns in 2 weeks. I read the synopsis, and it's basically like, yeah, he hasn't even thrown the ball, so he hasn't been doing shit. And I was like, he's clearly touchdown dependent. He's only scored in 2 games. He hasn't scored in like a month and a half. I'm not really feeling great about him. So I picked up the Panthers' new number 2 wide receiver, who has great boom potential and is coming off a pretty strong performance. And I know the Panthers had a good matchup today. And anyway, so I'm watching Red Zone, and I watch on the first drive of the game. I don't even know who was throwing it for freaking Tennessee. I know it wasn't Will Levis. It was the other
Pretty
guy.
sure it was Mason Rudolph.
Mason
Yeah,
Rudolph.
it's fucking Mason Rudolph, you know. The guy who got drummed out of Pittsburgh. Anyway, so I like in consecutive plays on Red Zone, he threw like a 50-yard touchdown to Calvin Ridley, and then they immediately go to the Panthers game, and Coker catches it in the end zone, but has a foot out of bounds. And I was like, well, that's a pretty huge swing. I'm probably gonna lose this week. So I really don't feel bad about that. I mean, I might put him back in next week. If Calvin Ridley won me or lost me this game, I had bigger issues, but he was treading the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I overthink it.
I mean, obviously it's not going to make a difference. But no, just seeing that when it was closer, I was just like, Brad's doing everything he can to lose. But it doesn't.
No, yeah. Like
but
in
it
the
doesn't
first quarter of
fucking.
the 1 p.m. games.
But it doesn't fucking matter because we are a team of destiny. And immediately after seeing Calvin Ridley score the touchdown, I got the news Jalen Hurts out for the rest of the game, and I was like, we fucking got this. This is awesome. I'm over here sweating fucking bullets on my matchup, but I'm like, Brad is a done deal.
If you watch the replay, like you can see Jalen get up and he's kind of like wide-eyed, and the ref looks him in the eyes like, "You good?" And he gives him a
And he was
thumbs
like-
up, but he gave him a spacey thumbs up, and the ref's like, "You sure? 'Cause you don't look good."
I mean,
So I appreciate
clearly,
the effort by Jalen Hurts to like pull a Tua, but I'm glad they got him out of there for his own fucking safety.
We also gotta chill on some of these things, guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad they got him out of there so he didn't pull a Tua, not because it helps my week.
Jason Smith just commented Jerry winning by association.
Yeah, we're gonna win. I did the exact same thing when you won your title, Jason. You should be on board with this.
I think the bigger
Remember when you beat
takeaway-
Z-Back scoring 75 points?
I think the bigger takeaway for Brad going into the championship has to be to probably bench Josh Allen and start Bryce Young based on their performance this week.
100%. 100%.
I mean, I don't know what was going on with Josh Allen today, but the Patriots actually played a pretty good game.
I think they just had a good game plan. There was a couple times where Josh Allen was extending the play to like 6-7 seconds, and he's just like, guys, somebody get open.
Get separation. Like,
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about this matchup is just, I mean, obviously Zach had the Jalen Hurts thing was kind of a little bit of a backbreaker for him. I think that ended, or not that didn't end his hopes, but that was looking back at it, that was kind of the death blow.
It hurt.
He also didn't have anybody really go off with the exception of Saquon, and Saquon couldn't carry him this time because Justin Jefferson and Devon Achane really did a number for Brad.
Jefferson did a number. Achane was trying
garbage
to
time, baby. It still counts. They all count the same.
A 50-yard touchdown to end it out there is, I mean, that's 11
As a
points
Miami
right there.
fan who I had Reek and Achane in another league where I'm in the championship, and I'm like, just somebody fucking score. And then Achane has that garbage time 50-yard touchdown. I went from being a 35% dog to like a 70% favorite. It's like, hey.
So I feel like this is something that's, I mean, obviously I'm gonna keep going back to this well.
I'm gonna counter it as soon as
We're
you're
gonna
Go ahead.
we're flipping coins here, like, but these little things can stack, and like, no, obviously, like, getting that late touchdown from Devin Achane helps. Jalen Hurts going down, I mean, even like just adding in the points that Kenny Pickett had, I think he would have gotten like an extra like 10 or 11 points.
Yep.
Like, those two things right there is like a 25-point swing.
Absolutely.
If Achane doesn't get that, if Jalen Hurts continues playing, I mean, you're projected to win by 32 right now, and that's a 25-point swing. Like, it's so simple how many small things can just stack and make what turns into a massive difference.
That is fun for me. The Dolphins' first touchdown, they were first and goal within the 5, and they ran with Achane twice, and he got stuffed.
And I was like, well, I know it's about to happen here. And they threw it to Tyreek. And that's another
Yeah.
14-point swing.
100%. 100%.
It's random. I like it like that.
I do too, honestly.
I like it like that.
Disagree with your decision.
I'm with Brad on this one. Like, I do love the randomness of it. Love it, hate it. But like,
I like to
love
just
it enough to
reduce
keep
the
it.
short-term variance a little bit.
I mean, here's my thing, right? The same concept goes for my semifinal. Like, Jonathan Taylor, those 2 big touchdowns. How many points is off the board there? Like, you know, I like the fact that any given Sunday, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm with Brad on this one. But
like, what are you disagreeing with? Like, what are you agreeing with? I don't
the fact that, like, I don't want to do 2
Short-term
week
variance is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't want to do 2-week championships necessarily or 2-week Sackos. I'm not like deathly opposed to the idea, but I still team random right now.
I mean,
I'll tell you this, Jerry. I'm more likely to be persuaded on wins against the median in the regular season than I am 2-week playoff.
And I am more likely to be persuaded on a 2-week playoff than wins against the median.
Well,
so like I feel like the wins against the median thing like greatly reduces the short-term variance.
That's way
which is
too
why
much
like
for me. I agree.
like I get like again I get the point of this is kind of the randomness, and that's part of what makes it fun. Like if somebody was just infinitely better than everybody, it wouldn't be as fun. It's kind of the fact that like best versus worst is like a 60-40.
That's why we also have the wild card to offset that to a degree, like to make sure no one, like one team doesn't get screwed.
Yeah, I mean it does a little bit, but
if we're gonna reduce variance, I would rather reduce in the regular season than in playoffs, because I think this is very reminiscent of the NFL, where it doesn't really matter how good you are. If you make it into the dance, you have a bunch of fans. I mean, look at Sean's fucking team. He somehow got the bye. He had the game of his life against Alex, and I can't wait for
the finals again.
I mean, I said it last week when Scotty put up 140 with a negative quarterback. Like, anyone can go off in any week. But that's part of why I'm like, I get the idea of, again, just reducing it a little bit in the playoffs. Because, again, we are playing for money. I would like to reduce that just a little. Like, again, overall, I'm surprised that you two are so far apart on, like, regular season versus postseason.
I would, if you
both
want to
agree
reduce,
we don't want either.
the only thing that I would consider in supporting right now would be a second wild card spot, but like top 4 in the standings and then 2 wild cards. But
I think I would be okay with that because again, you just run into these weird spots where it's like, oh, 3rd and 4th in scoring are in the bottom 5.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, shit happens, but
all
right, we move.
Yeah, we'll move on. So those are the semifinals. So it's Brad versus myself, and I just want to say, well, I'll talk about the matchup itself afterwards. Let's go to the Sacko. Jerry, despite our predictions on the last episode, and actually, what's funny is I think we both predicted Brad to win. I predicted me to win. You predicted Alex.
I did predict Alex,
but we both predicted McMillan to win this one, and it looks like you will not be the back-to-back Sacko.
I mean, the job's not finished. Number one.
Notice how he doesn't say job's not finished for either of our matchups, but in his matchup, job's not finished.
Job's not finished. But so I had a feeling what was going to happen, or what happened was going to happen, where it's like I got into a spot where I got a bunch of these backups that were now going to play, and I'm like, kind of the same problem I ran into with all the wide receiver situations I've had all year, where I'm like, I have 6 wide receivers for 4 spots, and the 2 that I leave on the bench are the ones that always go off. I kind of ran into that same spot, like Alexander Madison, Kendre Miller, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Tajay Spears, Amir Abdullah, like Alexander Madison. I'm like, I just don't know who to start.
Look at your bench.
Yeah, and literally, so once the Thursday night game was over and the Chiefs running backs were out of it, I'm like, I think I literally made the wrong decision on every single one. Like, I wanted to start. Like, please, can Tony Pollard just not fucking play? Brad's not playing him anyways. Just don't start. And he doesn't start, and Tajay Spears still goes off for fucking 20 points. Like, again, it was 12:55, and I'm like, Patrick Taylor or Keenan Allen, I can't decide. I really don't know. I literally flipped a coin. I literally said heads is Patrick Taylor, tails is Keenan Allen, and it fucking came up for Patrick Taylor, and I put him in, and he fucking goes for 3 points. Like, and for the first time all year, it really didn't matter what I was going to do. Because McMillan's team just kind of, all the way across the board, just couldn't get anything going. Well, Thursday, Justin Herbert essentially had his best game of the year. He had like 4 points at halftime, and then like drops 20 in the second half, and then like kneels out 2 points of it. So I was like, I think I'm in trouble.
Yeah, no. I mean, seriously, one funny thing about that is, by the way, we were dogging him for the trade, right? I want to see what did Puka do?
He had a good
Puka
day,
9.6. Overall, the trade benefited him because of in this matchup because of the Jalen Hurts injury. So like,
but I think if he has Jalen Hurts and Puka Nakua, I think
he's not in the
probably,
Sacko.
I don't think he's in this play.
But I'm just saying, I do get. I think you nailed it. He didn't have anyone really go off. I will say, in fairness, if the defensive matchup helped you tremendously, it's an 18-point margin, and it could have easily flipped the other way. We could be talking about a whole different matchup if defense didn't favor you. But with that said, you also had overall the better performance of the non-defensive players.
I did. I mean, the defense ended up being much bigger than you would have thought. And again, like what I was talking about earlier, just like small little things can make such a big difference. Like if when Cleveland scored their touchdown, if they make the extra point, that's an additional 4 points off.
Yeah.
They also had an interception in the end zone, which if they had kicked the field goal there, 4 points off. Like, I mean, again, it doesn't look like that by itself is going to make the difference. But like Aaron Jones had 8 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
He finishes with 10.8. It's fucking wild, actually. Like Malik, there was a point where they were down 34-7 on that final drive, and Malik Neighbors got like 5 of his 10 points on like 2 catches. I'm just like, stop fucking throwing to him. The game is over. Why are we still doing this?
I think that the solace for McMillan, if there is one, is it didn't matter who he started. It didn't matter what he did. There was no way he was like, and we said it all season, right? Like he had the objectively worst team. He deserved to be in this spot. I mean, Brad, what do you think?
Would have made it a close game for McMillan?
Huh?
Who's that?
You know who would have made it a close game for him?
Who?
Huh.
Andrews.
What?
Mark Andrews would have made it a closer game.
Oh.
How much did Mark Andrews have?
I'm pretty sure
he was in my matchup with Alex. He had 11.8.
He had 11.8.
But not only that,
Dalton Kincaid had 3.5, another 8 points. I mean, at this point, 8 points is not nothing though, because
not only that, but like he's riding 2 mid-tier tight ends because he doesn't have somebody who can start week in and week out, and that's one less bench spot to make his team better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. He had a bad start to the season, but we're all still just scratching our heads on that one. And then Alex picked him up for what? $1?
It definitely wasn't. It
Best return on investment in fantasy history.
Hey, look on the bright side, guys. McMillan may be the Sacko, but he has $825 in fab right now. So.
As long as it's not me. Hey McMillan, when we go into Waffle House,
he's got to decide whether he wants to do the Waffle House and the SAT.
It's a cheat code to go with a friend, so let's do it. Me and you, buddy.
Love.
We'll get it done in like 10 hours. We'll knock it out quick.
So that's our Sacko, and so now we get to, and I'm gonna have to, I guess, go to the scoreboard. I mean, I guess I'll.
Hey, Jerry.
I won't be able to actually do like a box score of this because it won't show it.
Yeah.
Because there's no playoff round 3, so I guess I'm gonna have to look at each of our teams. Is how we're gonna have to do this one.
Yeah, you might be able to do projections.
Like each of our
does
teams.
It even show the championship match, like to see what.
Yeah, if you go to your individual teams, there should be a way to like.
You can go to week 17. I can do that.
Yeah.
I think.
And kind of see. I don't think there's. I mean, obviously there's not going to be projections yet, but.
So we're gonna look at each team individually, and we'll start with my team. Before we do, I just want to talk about like the backstory of this matchup, because obviously the title of this episode, Destined for Redemption. Jerry has been saying all along, Brad is a team of destiny, and Brad, in your case, obviously you are the defending runner-up. You got your revenge on Scotty in round 1.
Not a title I want to defend.
No, well, but what I'm saying is you got your revenge on Scotty in round 1, killed him. Then you got Zach.
The king is dead.
The box of boxes you knocked off.
The box is dead.
And the number 1 seed, mind you. So the thing of Jerry's team of destiny and this redemption arc, it has some traction. And meanwhile, we all know that I am have been in the finals for now. This will make 4 of the last 6 years.
The drought continues.
We've talked about my drought ad nauseum, that I had the longest title drought in league history at, what is it, 15 seasons.
15 seasons. Your title drought is about to be a junior in high school.
Yeah, it's real bad. And so now I have this chance to finally, redeem myself after 3 straight title, or, the last 3 title matchups being losses to, I think it was James, and Zach. So,
wait, James has won twice?
I think it was James.
I thought I was the only multi-time champion that's still in the league.
Let me double check.
I feel like it was McMillan.
I feel like it was me, Rick Toms, and
It was
Z-Back had won multiple times.
It was. I lost to James in 2019. I lost to James in 2021, and I lost to Zach in 2022. And just to prove that fact,
oh yeah, James won it in
So, first of all,
okay.
I just want to say
1921.
everybody's welcome, because this is 2 years in a row that I took Zach out behind the woodshed and
Why
showed
the
him
fuck
what a
would
real
he say
fan
that?
looks like. Because that, I don't know if you let me pick my own team with no one else in the league, and just said, if you could start any team, who would you take? And just let me fill out a roster at the beginning of the season. I don't know if I could finish with the same win percentage that Zach has in his career in the league. It's insane.
He's a box.
We never missed the semifinals.
Yeah, he's
By the way, that is an insane stat.
It's not a real stat.
It doesn't sound like a real stat, because it's a stat that happens if you've been in the league for 1 or 2 seasons. He's been in the league for 7 fucking years now.
It's insane. It's truly
it's ridiculous.
And
he
yet,
runs so good.
And yet,
I'm over here fucking losing 4 times.
And yet, 1 title.
Only 1 title. It's hard to win championships, man.
It is.
I mean, I've only
from the mouth of babes. Trust me, I know.
I've only won 2 in 16 seasons. It's hard to win championships.
That the loser next week is going to be firmly solidified with the longest drought in the league.
Yeah.
You're either going to end yours, or your only real competition for overtaking that one day is going to
when did you join, Brad?
17? 16?
Because I think
17?
McMillan was 2016 was his last title, and he beat me in that championship in 2016. I
want to say that was my first. I was in the league when he won.
We can look it up.
Might have been my first season.
In 2016, Brad was in the league.
He was. Was it his first year?
No, I was definitely in the league there. That might have been my first year.
I'll look it up. Give me a second. In 2015, Brad was in the league. So that was not your first season.
You just said that.
No, 2015. That was his.
20.
So.
So yeah, in 2016, Brad went 2-11.
Yeah,
that season, buddy.
Oh wait, no, that was the year after that. That didn't go great.
Brad was not in the league in 2014. So 2015 was your first season. So yeah, you do have the longest title drought save for me. So yeah, it'll either be you or me at the end of this, and it'll be pretty firm.
Is this the Red Sox versus the Cubs? Is that what we're doing here?
The other thing is
what a catch.
Again, it's going to be a bad time because I don't know this statistic. I guess we have to look whether anyone has. Oh no, I've been back-to-back second runner-up. So
okay.
Yes, I didn't know if anyone else had done runner-up back-to-back, but I know I have.
I will tell you that, to commiserate with you, that is the worst feeling in the world. I don't give a shit if I make it.
I'd rather come in second than come in last.
I mean,
coming in second or coming in ninth is the same thing.
Row is mentally exhausting. I've done it in another league. It is the worst fucking feeling in the world.
I'd rather come in second.
I agree that I'd rather come in second.
You win money. You don't have to go to Waffle House.
You're in the final.
You win like $100. And
no, 3.
Going to Waffle House is not a celebration.
Well, anyway, this is a redemption story for one of us, and it is Nova War 2 Electric Boogaloo, I guess, because Maryland versus Virginia yet again, Frederick versus Nova. So with that said, let's look at the matchups. So I am currently projected. Well, there are no projections. So this is gonna be a lot harder to do. This is gonna be a lot harder to predict because we don't have.
Remember when I said I wanted to do this on Tuesday?
We can. I mean, it's Christmas Eve.
Noon on Tuesday would have been perfect.
Here's
I'll
what.
tell you right
Let's
now,
look at.
I don't think we need to look at the projections to know who all three of us are taking.
Yeah. So let's.
There's no spoilers.
Well, let's do this. Let's. You're absolutely right about that. So let's do this.
I can't bet against a team of destiny.
So let's do
Exactly.
this. I'm gonna let Jerry go first. Brad, you'll go second. I'll go last. And I
All
want.
right, give me like 10 seconds to get the two lineups side by side.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm not even on the website. I've just been watching the game while you've been talking.
Okay. What we're gonna do in this little exercise
You're
is.
moving Carcassonne, by the way.
Huh?
Make your move moving Carcassonne.
I'm not gonna make my move while we're on the podcast.
You're
What
being a
we're-
bad friend. Right
What we're going to do is
now. I'm just gonna keep interrupting you at this point.
we are going to look at both teams. I'm gonna let each of you make a pick as to who's gonna. We know who everyone's predicting, but we're gonna go through it anyway, and we're gonna make our case for who's winning the title and why.
Got it.
So
All right,
Jerry,
so-
whenever you're ready.
So just to start us off here, why is it not? Oh, God damn it! I hate technology.
Was not ready.
Sorry, I like technology sometimes just doesn't agree with me. Okay, and somehow I end up putting Sean's on both. That's kind of annoying. All right, so starting off with Sean's team, Jonathan Taylor's not going to give you 40 points again. Chuba Hubbard's not going to give you 30 again. Who knows if James Conner's going to play next week? I don't know. You're still starting a Ravens pass catcher. Is there anyone on your bench you're feeling super great about starting? Jalen Waddle probably ain't playing. TJ Hawkinson, maybe you feel like you want to start, but George Kittle's still probably who you're going to start. Cedric Tillman's out. Jerome Ford, it's the Browns.
You know he put up 20
I think
today,
he actually
right?
had, I mean, I know he had a pretty decent day today. Don't get me wrong. He had a good. Actually, I mean, he actually for the beginning of the season was playing okay until Chubb came back. You're going to start Jerome Ford against your Dolphins next week? Maybe you will. I don't know.
If James
Malik,
Conner's out,
Malik,
I will.
Malik Washington, probably don't want to play him. Michael Penix versus Drake May, who you feeling good about? There's just a lot of things on your roster that I'm just like, how the fuck are you in the championship?
That's not nice.
I mean,
And then I go over.
no,
and I
it's
look
great.
at
No,
Brad's-
let him keep talking
I go
because he
over-
put up 100 this week in the Sacko Bowl to barely beat McMillan. Meanwhile, I put up 175. How am I in the championship? Fuck out of here.
Yeah, you had people who went off. I also still have a player to go. I'm gonna put up like 120, but you do you. But then I go over and I look at Brad's just stacked roster.
Oh my god.
You have Josh Allen.
If you
who
tug his
had-
dick any
who had a
harder, he's
down-
gonna come.
Who had a down day. Achan's a fucking monster. Rico Dowdle still only has 3.8. He's still going. We'll see. But Justin Jefferson, number 2 or 3 wide receiver right now. Nico Collins was the number 1 wide receiver until he got hurt. Still sitting somewhere in the top like 15, I'm pretty sure. Don't start Jalen Coker next week. That was weird. Brock Bowers, number 1 fantasy tight end. Bucky Irving out here fucking putting up 13 in the
Jeez,
first
let's
half.
see something. Don't start Jalen Coker, guys. That was weird.
And he still has people like Tony Pollard on his bench. He has, Bryce. I mean, I don't know that you're actually starting Bryce Young, but Bryce Young apparently can play quarterback in the NFL. Brad wins this matchup. I don't think it should be close. Brad is a team of destiny. Like, just looking at the team side by side, I don't know how anyone would choose one roster over the other. And obviously, you ran into problems this year, Sean. You did lose Chris Godwin when he was like the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy. But I'm just like looking at these rosters side by side, and
CeeDee Lamb is a monster. Oh my
like
God.
Jonathan Taylor had, like I said, by far his best game of the year. Like, he hadn't put up 30 all year. He almost puts up 40. I mean, he does get the Giants, which is helpful. But I just don't know how I don't pick Brad here.
Brad?
Also, You can't do that when I'm monologuing. Like, yeah, I'm in the last place game and I'm not even done playing yet. How about you calm down on my team? We're talking about your team right now and how shitty it is compared to Brad's.
Snipe a tutty from CD Lamb here.
You got my input. You gotta take the good with the bad here, Sean.
What you have just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things.
Sorry that I just was like fucking glazing you for the last 5 minutes, Brad. My bad. You're right. That was idiotic. Maybe I shouldn't have said. Maybe I shouldn't have done all that. But I said it in week 3. Brad is a team of destiny.
You said it ironically because you were playing.
No, I didn't. And I beat you that week just to humble you to keep your eye on the prize. That's all.
Are you my?
Because you're like the Chiefs right now, and you know,
like
every no, it's the Chiefs. It's just like the Chiefs because everybody is sitting here saying like they could go undefeated, and it's like no, actually you need that loss so that way you don't have to worry about that undefeated streak. You're just gonna focus on winning games.
I don't think anyone was looking at the Chiefs saying this is the best team in the league. It was more like the Chiefs were.
The Chiefs are the best team in the league.
I'm the Lions.
The Chiefs are the best team in the league. This is the best team in the league. I said it in week 3. It's a miracle that I beat you in week 3. You had your down week. And here you are in the championship. And you're a massive favorite to win the championship.
Hey, stop it. Stop it.
Brad, whenever you're ready.
Hey, we're just having fun over here, Sean. Stop being a buzzkill. The main thing I'm looking at
fuck,
here
Sean.
are like your potential places where you can go off and where you build your base. Oh fuck! Zeke took the touchdown, not Dowdle.
Oh, Zach
the places where you build your base for good scoring weeks, and then you just need to stack on top of that. And you know, Lamar Jackson, Chuba Hubbard, and George Kittle are essentially your base. You're gonna put a gap between you and your opponent with George Kittle over whatever other tight ends there are. You're gonna put a gap with Lamar Jackson over other quarterbacks, and Chuba Hubbard's been kind of a monster the last season. Maybe it wasn't Chuba Hubbard. Sorry, maybe it was. So I just clicked on somebody and they had. Connor has been the monster in the last few weeks. Anyways, point is, I think I have answers for each of your heavy hitters. Like Josh Allen negates Lamar Jackson. Yes, one of them can score more in any given week. But Josh Allen negates Lamar Jackson. Devon Achane negates whatever running back is going to go off for you, be it Irving or Connor. And Brock Bowers negates George Kittle. And then when it comes down to the rest of the positions, I just feel like I have more places to keep pressure on.
We do.
I'd rather have Jordan Love than Drake May. I'd rather have Justin Jefferson than who do you have here? Literally any of your wide receivers.
Obviously.
I'd rather have Nico Collins than any of your wide receivers. I think I showed, was it last week where I didn't get much on my running backs? I can definitely have weeks where I don't get anything from my running backs. But I think my stable of running backs is a pretty solid core. Pretty solid floor. Defense is what it is, but I've been scanning the waiver wire.
We're streaming We're streaming defenses at this point.
Oh, I've been streaming defenses the entire season. I just feel like I have answers for the places that you make your money, and then I have other things that you don't have answers for in other spots.
I don't disagree with your analysis, but I disagree with your prediction, obviously. And
Can I just make one quick?
I didn't make a prediction. I just shit on you for a minute.
Well, who
can I just make one? Can I just say
before Jerry interjects? Who do you think?
I am taking Zach to win the title. Massive comeback.
Who do you think's gonna win between you and I? I'm nailing you down to an answer. Who do you predict's gonna win between you and I?
Me.
Thank you. Go on,
just
Jerry.
one thing in defense of Sean's team. Sean is vindicated in his decision to take Lamar Jackson #1 overall.
Thank you.
It was close. He was #1 this week. He put up 20. Josh Allen put up 10.
I don't think anybody, despite Sean's protestations, I don't think anyone ever said it was a bad move.
Oh, there are definitely people in the draft who said it was a bad move.
I definitely said it was a bad move.
To me, they were always comparable. whether or not one is the QB1 versus the QB2 is not really what you're looking for. The point is, I don't think he wasted his first round pick on Lamar Jackson.
There are
Wasted is a
people who
sh-
there are
wasted
people
is
who
a strong
said
word.
that I was wrong for taking Lamar 101,
Yes.
and I agree with Jerry. That
I said
that was...
I don't think that it was a wasted pick. I mean, Christian McCaffrey at 5 was a wasted pick. But
I mean, wasted in terms of value from what we knew going into the draft.
yeah, but no,
And
like
maybe I was in the minority, but I probably would have taken Josh Allen number 1. Believe me, I have no idea how I got him at 6. I'm not complaining about it, but I never thought like you just lost value with the 101 by taking Lamar Jackson.
So when every mock that I did, I was saying I'm either getting Christian McCaffrey. Well, actually, no, I never expected to get Christian McCaffrey. Excuse me. I was always expecting either the best wide receiver available, which was either going to be Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson, or I was getting one of the best quarterback available, which at the time I feel like everybody was expecting to be Josh Allen. So when both Josh Allen and Christian, I never expected to get Christian McCaffrey. So when both Josh Allen and Christian McCaffrey were there, I was in a mind fuck, and I took the running back that I never expected.
Hey Jerry, we're not.
I was
talking about
never.
you right
I know
now.
that, but I'm saying like even if Lamar Jackson was there, my point here is that even if Lamar Jackson was there at 5,
You don't take him at 105.
I was never taking him at 5.
Wow.
I would have taken Mahomes before him. I would have taken Jalen Hurts before him.
Wow.
Like, I don't think I had Lamar Jackson as my top 3 at quarterbacks, let alone my top 5 of picks.
I can see Hurts over Jackson. Even going into the season, I don't think I could have justified. Mahomes
So,
over
like I said, I wasn't
Really
like I
quick.
honestly wasn't trying to. Go ahead.
No, I was going to add in the chat. Jason Smith said, I think I said it was the most surprising. My only complaint was that you should have traded down for max value, but you did try, and I did try. And that is actually the point here. I tried hard. I tried with everyone in the league to trade down from 101.
But you also weren't willing to actually get the worst end of a, like, if it was close to being the worst end of a deal, you weren't gonna ever take it. So it's like you didn't really try. You were like, if I can trade rape you guys, then I'm gonna.
It wasn't
down.
trade. Stop.
No,
I made fair offers. Stop.
I don't think so, though.
He told me that I could go on any trade simulator I wanted to find a fair trade.
Find a
He
fair
was
deal.
Like, I don't want Josh Allen.
Like
the reason
I said,
didn't do it
find
was
a
I was
fair
like,
deal.
tinkering. And then getting Josh Allen anyway without losing that value. Hey, Rafi. Obviously, I'm glad I didn't do it, but he didn't try and trade rate.
And
I just
McMillan makes
remember
a really good
us-
point in the chat too. By the way, Hurts over Jackson was the premise of our slap bet together. So
Sure.
again, he was saying like he believed Jalen Hurts over Lamar Jackson when it was my 101.
So maybe
but
the thing
Jason
that
Smith,
distinguishes people-
vindicating me, said it was a fair offer to him. He just didn't want to wait 30 picks for his number 2 pick.
Sure.
So like I dispute the whole trade rape thing. That I was not doing. Sorry.
So the thing, maybe this is where I disagree with people. And yes, we're going off topic, but that's because like we can't really do projections, so we're just filling time
Whatever.
here. When I'm looking for a number 1 overall pick, or sorry, not number 1, but like a first round pick. Wow, he's actually up there right now. Good job,
yeah,
Rob.
he is.
Way to get Sean some views on his shitty pod. I'm just trying to ruffle your Maryland feathers.
You did. I
What was
flipped
it?
you off.
I'm not looking for, say, who's going to end the season as the QB1. I'm looking for the highest probability of a top 10 QB. So a QB1, not the QB1. So whether you think Hurts or Jackson is going to finish with more points, to me, that's not the issue. The issue is, like, they're both clearly going to be top 5, in my opinion. They're both solid QB1. So I want the most solid value at a starting position, not necessarily that guy who just has that season where he sets the record for rushing touches for a quarterback or whatever, or Saquon, going after Eric Dickerson's record. So that's where I see it differently. I respect the argument of taking other QBs over him, but I still have Lamar in that same tier. And in a 2 QB league where I was almost certainly taking a QB in the first round, I think that makes it an okay pick.
Like, I don't think it was a terrible pick. I didn't have, like I said, I don't know that I would have had Lamar Jackson in my, like I said, I was wrong. Like, point blank, I was wrong. But, like, I don't think that I was ever taking him at 5 because I was always expecting somebody else that I wanted more to be at 5. And not only that, like, if you hadn't have taken Lamar, I would have still taken either Josh Allen or Christian McCaffrey over Lamar if Lamar had still been there. Like if you had taken Josh Allen, I was still taking Christian McCaffrey.
I was taking Tyreek if I didn't take Lamar, which
Yeah.
would have.
So and I think Tyreek still went before it got to me at 5.
Zach took Tyreek at 2.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But that's just kind of my point. Is like I'm literally like I was starting this whole premise with like you are vindicated in your decision to take Lamar Jackson at 1, obviously based on the results of it because he, as of right now, is quarterback 1.
Right.
But like at the time, I was like, no, that's pretty wild to me because you could have had one of the top 2 wide receivers. You could have had the top running back. You could have had what I consider to be one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks ahead of him. It seemed crazy to me at the time, and obviously it is. Like that's where this whole conversation started. Is you have been proven right that Lamar Jackson was fine to take there.
Jason Smith, one last point here. Lamar was a consensus top 3 in every ranking as I saw, but was only number 1 in one of like 15 different rankings. So this is a plug for why you should watch this pod. I give good advice.
So I think when it came to Lamar as a consensus top 3, like again, I think like he was like 3 or 4 in like everything I saw, but I also was like, there had to be some regression when he just had an MVP season. Like, it's really hard to like win MVP and then go out there and just, by the way, I'm the number 1 quarterback again. It's really hard to do things like that. Not a lot of people do that. What?
Like, forget about MVP. Josh Allen was the better fantasy quarterback in 2023. So I think we all expected that same regression. And I think you can say he had it, but still at a pretty good level. What's he at? 10 rushing touchdowns instead of 15 or whatever he had last year. So
I will say that barring any injury, I think Lamar and Josh Allen are consensus top 2 quarterbacks next year, and Hurts probably number 3.
Yeah, I think Mahomes can always have that year. He's shown that he cares less about his own stats as opposed to.
He's not a fantasy top. He's not. I'm sorry. He's not a fantasy tier 1 quarterback anymore.
I agree.
Who?
Patrick Mahomes. I would rather take Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes is just in this weird spot where like his team doesn't fucking lose and he just wins, but he doesn't need to.
He does Nick
No,
he doesn't have to throw 5,000 yards for his.
If he wanted to, he just doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have to throw for 5,000 yards in a season to have a 13 or 14 win season. So why would he?
He's not a tank like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are. So like, why would he play backyard football more than he has to? And risk getting hurt is my point. I forgot to say that part out loud. McMillan's.
Hold on. Well, someone just said Mahomes was like QB 20 last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He was QB 8 last year.
Also, what's your point, Jason? I think we're both saying like, yeah, he's a borderline QB1 at this point. It's not because he doesn't have the talent. It's because he doesn't play like somebody who feels like he has to put the whole world on his shoulders.
Currently
I'm just a little. So he was QB 8 last year. He's QB 9 right now.
Yep.
I'm so confused by he was like QB 20. It's like, no, he's like a borderline, literally exactly what Brad just said. He's like a borderline top 10 guy who has the talent to be number 1, but he just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And all he does is just go to Super Bowls every year.
And yet, I'm just saying though, he's currently QB 9, right? Drafted as QB 4, 7th overall by window. Just saying.
Yeah, it's a little bit on. I mean, again, it's just like
I was down on him.
The talent's there, the upside's there. Lamar Jackson was QB 4 last year, which is actually lower than I thought he was the year before.
All right, so we got to get back to predictions. You both have predicted Brad.
Yeah, Brad's gonna win.
Now it's my turn to monologue.
I mean, let me rephrase.
While
we're gonna win.
While Sean is prognosticating, everyone in the chat drop your predictions.
Yeah, that's a great point. Jason, both Jasons, make your predictions.
Are you watching this on mute or something? Like, what are you arguing about?
Yeah, not Brad. Jason, I appreciate the update. I'm just saying he's not a top 5 quarterback. It's like I love how we're all screaming. He's not top. He's borderline top 10. I'm just saying he's not top 5. Like, that's the same thing we're saying.
He literally has a comment that just says stop. Like.
Well, his stop was Mahomes was quarterback like 20 last year, and I was like,
it's just objectively false. I don't know.
It would take you 5 seconds to look it up. You literally go. So all you got to do on the ESPN website, you go to players, you go to scoring leaders, and you can filter to last season, guys. Just so you guys know.
All right, time for my prediction.
The thing about shark pits, McMillan, is you don't reveal them until it's time to use them.
So, time for my prediction.
What's a shark pit?
So
it's a Bob Dylan reference.
Here is why my title drought ends next week.
I love how a week ago you were like, I'm a one and done no matter what in the playoffs, so I'm just happy to be here.
Remember what I said?
And now you're triple reverse jinxing yourself. Like,
remember
ends.
how last week I said I was going to beat Alex, and then I did. So
yeah, I also gave you the same shit last week because you said that you were a one.
And then your prediction was wrong. So it's my turn to
We're
talk.
flipping coins, Sean.
It's my turn to talk now. Don't make me mute Jerry. Don't make me mute you, Jerry.
We're flipping coins, bro.
So that's exactly right. And guess what? Coin flip's gonna come my way. Here's why.
Want to bet? Want to slap bet it?
I'm not slap betting with you. Why? By the way, where was all this enthusiasm to slap bet like the entire season long? He made no slap bets all year, and then like the last 2 weeks, like, want to slap bet on this? Want to slap bet on this? Like, where was it?
I made a slap bet in like week 3 or 4 with Alex, where I gave up points, where I gave up odds.
Doesn't count.
Alex doesn't
I gave
count.
up odds.
He's the
I gave
slap
up odds.
taco.
I gave up odds with a team that's going to win their.
Alex is the slap taco. He just gets slapped. He's a slap test dummy.
We need a constitutional amendment that
bans Alex from slapping.
I gave him odds. It was like they were a fucking 3.5 point favorite. What do you want me to do?
Alex, if you're watching this, buddy, call me next time.
And also, I don't want to hear Sean. When I was a 99% favorite in my fucking matchup today, you're like, "Want to slap it?" It's like, fuck you. You want to give me 100 to 1? Like, no. Right now, it's actually a coin flip. Why don't you want to slap it?
If someone ever gave me 100 to 1 on slap bet odds, I would take it.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to give me that.
The potentiality of just like ending your life with 100 slaps, like you can
obviously. I wasn't be dealt out over.
I wasn't legitimately saying. I wasn't like legitimately saying, "Oh yeah, let's do a slap bet on this." When I'm 99% to win the slap bet, I was making the point that like you bitch at me all the time for not complaining when I'm winning. You were a 99% favorite and you were complaining.
You understand that there's a difference here, right? Because you know that the 99% thing in ESPN projections is bullshit. I've been 99% to win. I don't know how many times.
I've heard this 3 times today. I swear to God.
But secondarily, Sean, the difference is that over the course of 13 weeks, you're in the fucking bye and you're complaining. That's the difference.
You've
run so good and you're complaining. Like, I have not run good, and I'm assuming I'm gonna.
I'm not. I'm waiting for Jerry to shut the fuck up so I can make my prediction. All right.
Go ahead, predict yourself.
Thank you. Brad, shut the fuck up.
I'm not gonna shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna start muting people. So here's why I'm going to win this title. And you're right, Jerry. I will say you were absolutely right that 2 weeks ago I said, yeah, I'm absolutely one and done. My IR squad is not going to beat Alex. And then I started thinking about what you said. I genuinely started internalizing what you told me, Jerry, which was we're flipping coins.
We are.
All I have to do, and I said last week, all I got to do is win 2 coin flips. Just won the first. All I got to do is win 1 more coin flip, and I have faith that this underachieving squad, this no-name squad that I have, is going to pull it out for me. Because, like I said last week, I have had better teams that have lost me titles. In 3 of the last 5 years, have lost me titles. This team, when you look at it on paper, is not a title team. I'm going to go to my team for a second. Give me a moment, because I was on Brad's.
Would you take 2 to 1 on a slap bet?
As in, if I win, I get
slap me twice. If you lose, I slap you once.
Deal. I will do that.
You take 2 to 1 on a slap bet?
Yep, right here, right now. Let's do it.
I want to hear the end of your analysis, and then I'll agree.
Fair enough. So I appreciate you letting me finish my analysis. So
analysis, but okay.
No. You're right. It's just we're prognosticating. Who cares, right? But like when you talk about this squad, right? You know what
I care.
Even the averages of the players who are in right now, with me starting Rashad Bateman, mid-wide receiver, the averages, and I understand your Jalen Coker's average is 6.8. You could switch it with Calvin Ridley, get another 3 points, whatever. Do you? I'm just saying that the averages as they stand right now with our lineups currently set are essentially less than a point and a half away. Not that different when you really get into the numbers. And when you talk about matchups, yeah, I've got a couple that are favorable. Specifically, I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor coming off his best performance of the year, like you mentioned. Guess who he gets to play against? The 29th ranked run defense in the New York Giants. That's a favorable matchup. You know who else has a favorable matchup? All the 3 receivers I started against Dallas, New Orleans, and Houston. They're all bad pass defenses. And none of my matchups are really, really bad, with the exception of George Kittle playing Detroit. Like, other than that, a pretty solid week of matchups. Meanwhile, Cleveland's run D is good against Achane. Philly's run D is excellent against Dowdle. Justin Jefferson is playing against Green Bay's pass defense. That's a tough pass defense. And Jordan Love, speaking of tough pass defenses, is also playing Minnesota because, again, tough pass defenses. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Brad doesn't have the slightly better team. And I agree with Brad's points that, like, a lot of my heavy hitters, he can offset enough. And Justin Jefferson, in my view, is the biggest difference in these lineups. Because, yeah, I've got stud RBs. He's got good enough RBs. I have a stud QB1. He's got a stud QB1. Yeah, I got a really good tight end that's going to hopefully make a little bit of a difference. You know, but Brad's got Brock Bowers. So, really, he actually, you could make a case. I mean, George Kittle's number 2 tight end right now. Brad has the better at that position. You have an answer for all my heavy hitters, like you said. I don't dispute that. And you have Justin Jefferson, which is your ace in the hole, which is way better than any of my wide receivers. But I think collectively, I have, like I said last week, the recipe for success for me is I have to have enough guys boom. I have a decent enough floor where my consistent wide receivers, my consistent, you know, Drake May, say what you will about the guy. He puts up like 17 a week. And this week was no different. If I have a safe enough floor with my non-big name players that if I have my running backs and Lamar and George Kittle hit, if even 3 of those guys boom, I've got a shot. If 4 of them boom, I'm the favorite. That's my view. So the bottom line for me is this. It's a coin flip. I like my chances. I believe in myself. This is the year when I finally get what has eluded me, and I'll tell you right now, if I win this title, it is going to be right behind me all season long next season for the podcast, so you can see it every single week. That's where it's going to be staying.
And I think that's part of the reason why you're not going to win, because you'll be insufferable about it.
Yeah! Guess what? 15 years will do that to you. You go 15 years without a title, and let's see how
couldn't imagine
easy you are. Yeah, it sucks. It ends. Enough. Enough is enough. And here's the other reason why, too.
You're gonna be Kevin McCarthy.
I am. I absolutely am. I'm going to do the Kevin rant pretty soon.
Telling children that there's no Santa.
It's right around Christmas time, too. It's the perfect time for it. No, in all seriousness, I have put so much of my heart and soul into this league.
Look at me, Julia. Santa's not real.
There's no Easter Bunny. There's no nothing. And then Brad's going to feel like he won twice. No, like, honestly, I put so much of my heart and soul into this league. It's the good karma. It's time.
Bro, if you're looking for good karma in fantasy football, you're gonna...
It's time. It's time. You can't stop me. It's time. It's coming home. It's coming home.
So 1-1. So 1-1 slap bet?
2-1. You said.
Yeah.
You said Brad's the favorite.
1-1. Brad is the favorite.
So 2-1. Let's go.
We're still flipping coins here, bro.
You said 2-1, then you said you'd accept.
How about this?
Also, your slaps are way more powerful than mine, and you know this.
Yeah, so like I said, every episode I rewatch the slap video. Nobody gets a running start but me. It's really weird.
Yeah, we're not trying to hurt our friends.
I don't think it's weird the reason you think it's weird. I think you're just an asshole.
I love watching one of the slaps where I slap Alex, and Brad kind of goes like this to hold him, and he doesn't fall, and then Brad just collapses into his hands.
I mean,
why are we even doing this? Why do we do this if not to slap each other as hard as we can in the face?
Because we don't want to actually hurt our friends. Like, seriously hurt our friends.
I'm not punching you in the face. Like, Jesus.
There was one slap on James where you got that running start where it was like, I was worried.
But that was Jason's bachelor party.
How is that mitigating?
Jason, back me up here. You're in the chat. Back me up here, Jason. It was your bachelor.
It was absolutely his bachelor party.
What's even funnier is that wasn't even my slap. That was a slap that Jason bequeathed onto me.
I thought we couldn't do
So
that.
I'm not gonna go through everything Sean just said point by point because that sounds fucking exhausting. I'll just make one quick point about the use of averages by a fucking lawyer who, like, I'm not sure passed high school algebra. Yeah, so Jonathan Taylor's average is 15.4. Pretty good. The last 7 weeks,
How many deviations
that
was he
twice.
out today?
a lot. Probably 2. So since week 9, he's had 7.4, 13.2, 6.5, 3.5, 16.8, 9.6, 39.8. So not even like ignoring trends.
Did you want to just ignore the 5 double-digit weeks before that?
Yes, because I literally just said the phrase ignoring trends. The average of 15.4 doesn't tell the whole story because he either gets 30 or he gets below 10. And his good start factors into that average. I would much rather have Rico Dowdle or Bucky Irving, who solidified their starting job and are going like this, opposed to Jonathan Taylor, who's like, murmur. He had 2 hands on the ball when he crossed the goal line this week.
So since week 9, 50%, the same arbitrary number you put in, but Rico Dowdle has been below 10 points 50% of the time. So when you talk about, by the way, FYI,
he's my RB4.
Past
he's
AP
not my argument
count.
for why I'm gonna
So don't tell me that I didn't pass high school algebra. Got AP credit on calculus before when I went to college. So yeah.
You guys know that algebra is like a freshman class, right? I promise everybody in the league passed algebra. Like algebra 1 legitimately is I had year-long algebra.
The wrong guy by saying
I was in a remedial
capable of
class
doing
and I had to take a year-long algebra class as a freshman, and halfway through my teacher was like, "Why are you in this class?" And I was like,
anyways, yeah, Sean, you can make that argument with anything. First of all, my point was averages don't tell the whole story, and you're not dissuading that point. And second of all, I did not say that Rico Dowdle is my RB1 who's going to be the reason that I get carried to a championship. You made both of those points with Jonathan Taylor.
It's not just Jonathan Taylor. It's Jonathan Taylor. It's
yeah, that's why I said I'm not going through every single
Hubbard.
It's one.
It's
oh my God.
James Conner. Like, look, I understand your point of like, yeah, averages are important. Averages are important relatively, but there are also, like you said, like averages don't account for down weeks where you like there's equal potential to boom or bust, and obviously averages are inflated by 40-point aberrations. I get your argument, but we're talking about we've been saying all night we're talking about a limited sample size, a 1-week sample size. That's all that matters, and statistics mean nothing to the individual. 1 week, 1 performance. All we're talking about is what Jonathan Taylor's stats are next week.
That sentence didn't make any sense because expected value is what gamblers use on individual matchups. But anyways, I think the best proponent for why you're full of shit is Sean Fitzgerald, who 1 week ago said, my team's fucking one and done.
I started drinking that hopium.
Your team is white dog shit.
I'll lick it.
You're gonna lick it. Ah, jinx. That's a meme. It doesn't count as a jinx.
No, I mean, look, like I did last week, I recognize that you are the favorite. And I agree with the points both you and Jerry have said as to why you are the favorite, why you both are winning this title. I just have to believe that this is where it ends because I don't want to accept the possibility that my title drought hits 16 years, that I lose a 4th championship in 6 years. I don't want to accept that reality. So
You want to know why I'm really sad, Sean? Our friendship is over in a week.
It's not.
It's
Again,
over.
In all seriousness, stop. I'm not even gonna let you finish this point because again, in all seriousness, if I lose next week, barring like another painful loss like I had where Baker Mayfield did the play action pass and didn't hand the ball off to Nick Chubb that could have won me a title. I get it. Like, there is a very valid case that you deserve this title more than I do with all things being equal right now. I'm not going to be mad about finishing second place, getting $300 that I'm probably going to end up using to help put the base on our trophy this year. I'm not going to be mad about finishing second again. It's, you know, it is what it is. And I'll also not be mad about you winning your first title. Like, there are, as much as I think you would be an insufferable champion, I think everyone will be an insufferable champion. I think
No,
kind of the
you
point.
think Jason is going to be insufferable by proxy, and probably Jerry now too. You're worried
Yeah,
about
oh, absolutely, they both will be. There's no dispute about that. Jerry's going to. I fully believe that Jerry is going to commission the plaque to read Brad and Jerry in all caps.
I hereby sanction that plaque. I am fine when we hit a base. I'm fine with it saying Brad and Jerry's name being bigger than mine. That's hilarious to me.
Wow.
Come at me, bro.
Wow.
Sean, I love you. I hope everything you said is true. You're not the best sport in the world. I'm legitimately worried you're not going to talk to me for 2 months.
I promise you that if you win this title, I will congratulate you, say good game. Certainly, you know you're getting the $700 if you win.
Well, now I'm not sure. Why the fuck would he say that?
Also, just really quick, how much does third place get?
One.
Is money back?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's two. Sorry.
7-3-1 doesn't make any sense.
Sorry, 7-2-1.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
You're right.
I didn't.
And I'll also, I don't know if I've had in previous years where I made the finals and lost. I think it was the one with Zach. He offered to like do a different chop. Do you know, Jerry? Do you remember what those the different chops are that you guys have usually done?
I mean, if it's literally just like 7-2 instead of it being like a $500 flip, you just make it like $100 instead. So
like, do like what would that be? 5-4?
So like if there's $900, like you
a
split.
4-4 and then 1 for the winner.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
what I'm
4-4.
saying. Yeah.
and 1
That's
for the
like 5 for first, 4 for second. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah. I'll do that right now. I don't care.
I'll do that too.
Okay.
So.
No, I just want the ring. I put a little ring in my ring case upstairs.
So
And then I just forget you guys exist for like 9 months.
I don't think I'll do a ring. What I want to do, and I actually want to start this as maybe a tradition if the winner wants to do it. I want to get a custom jersey made, like with the JCPenney logo, like a green jersey, and then champion on as the nameplate, 16 for like the season, 16 as the number.
Yeah.
And then start.
Yeah.
I'll offer to get that made for whoever the champion is. And it'll lead into their prize fee, obviously, but something like that.
Yeah, we can do that. We gotta start working on the logo and the jersey design. I mean, it can change every year, but.
Well, I mean, the logo for the podcast is what I was going to use potentially, unless.
No. Do you watch Silicon Valley?
No.
The show? Okay, well, lowercase letters in an acronym are the dumbest fucking logos. No. I'm no longer interested unless you come up with a better logo. I'd much rather have your Tom
Did you hear
Fitzgerald
this?
Mediators picture.
That's actually what I was. McMillan gets where I was exactly going with it. Like he said, like a Masters jacket, like the green jacket, the green jersey kind of thing is what I was envisioning.
Well, there's a difference between a green jacket with a crest, a small crest, versus like a big front and center
It's
football
not even that big.
soccer logo.
It also might be like not on the front. Like it might be like a football jersey doesn't have the logo on the front. It has like a logo, a patch on the sides.
Here's a question for the league. What's the better Caps logo? The Weagle or the Skriegle?
We're not doing that.
Why not? Who fucking cares? Like, we're just sitting here.
You can make the jersey whatever you want.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the jersey. I'm just filling time with pod right now.
Oh, you're saying which one's better?
Yeah.
Jerry, have you weighed in on this? Do you have a thought?
No, I don't care.
Oh, what do you want to talk about, Jerry? What kind of wine are you drinking? What Caps off? Merlot.
It's Cote d'Ivoire.
I don't know what that is. We're not
French.
fucking drinking any Merlot.
All right, but I think we're wrapped up. So yeah, good luck to Brad and myself in our championship matchup. Congratulations to and good luck also to Zach and Alex who are going to play in the third place matchup. Should we predict that one?
Alex? Like Alex would be the favorite in his matchup next week, regardless of if we win the finals or the semifinals. Like he's objectively the hottest team coming into the playoffs. He didn't even have a bad week this week. You just had an incredible week.
Yeah.
So I would pick Alex over the field next week. Did Zach get third place last year or fourth?
I can tell you. Give me a second.
I really would love if Zach finished out of the money 2 years in a row.
Zach.
No, he was third because Jason Smith got fourth and
No, Jason Smith got third. Zach got fourth.
Jason, did you get third? Then
Yeah.
why was Jason so pouty last year? Jason, why were you so pouty last year?
He didn't win a title.
He was good on paper.
So yeah, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to disagree with you. Like, if you look at Alex's team,
That's gross.
every position is like QB1 or QB2 or RB1 or RB2. It's
He had a
really
down week
disgusting.
this week. He put up
Not to
140.
mention,
His projection
Zach
40,
is-
he had a down week.
Zach is still dealing with the Kamara injury,
Questionable now.
and
gotta-
doesn't have the depth to really back it up. I mean, I don't know if Garendo starts next week if that changes anything, but like, he's in Najee was a problem for him this week. And Zach's got some good pieces, but I would favor Al, and he's got some good matchups too. But again, Jalen Hurts, I guess the question of whether he
It's not up
plays
to him if he
too.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So too many question marks for Zach's team. I would go Alex in the third place game. Jerry, what about you?
I don't know without looking at it. Zach is a box, so he's probably gonna finish there.
Damn it. It's hard to argue with that. I retract everything I just said. Like, I guess I'm picking Zach.
All right. So I think we're done. And this is the season finale of the pod. So I guess our next episode will be after the season 16 draft. Or says season 17 draft. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, is there any excuse to do something in the off season? I don't really think so.
No. Maybe
Not
if there's like a
popular.
draft order thing we're doing, but
We could, but we'd have to like put that on a tape delay.
yeah.
I don't trust me.
All right. Well,
Good luck, Ron.
good luck, Brad. Congratulations to Jerry for not being the Sacko. Congratulations to McMillan for having the opportunity to do the drunk SAT or the Waffle House again. Or I should say the drunk ST again, or to do the Waffle House for the first time.
Do the SAT.
I would do the
I know
SAT
Jerry-
personally.
I know Jerry said he preferred the SAT to the Waffle House. That's
I don't. Did you?
That's
Oh yeah,
shocking.
you did say that.
shocking.
Brad, you also didn't actually do it, so
That's what I'm saying.
having a
Well,
partner
that's
is a
literally
cheat,
what I'm saying.
having a
Like, you're
partner
the
is a
only
cheat
person.
code.
What?
Having a partner is a cheat
No,
code.
I'm saying Waffle House with a partner is a cheat code. It's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
close.
Well, I'm sorry for being the only person to do their sack of punishment in 5 years and claiming a slight assist to do that.
I mean,
He did his.
again, it wasn't just like no one did it because so before you were a part of this, Brad, like it was everyone comes together and the person does their punishment while everybody else gets to sit there and hang out and have fun while the person's miserable. It wasn't just go do the thing by yourself. And then
No one
COVID
did.
was a thing that
Yeah,
prevented a lot of people from being able to like be in the same room together, which prevented that for a long time.
that's true.
No, that's low hanging fruit of an excuse.
That is
That's probably
legitimately, we
really
literally
hard.
didn't do the fucking league events because of that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not buying this. People moved on with their lives, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, it became status quo that the Sacko punishment wasn't a real thing, and
No,
so
hey,
I
so like
cheated
part of it
by
was like
starting it
okay.
again.
So I'll take some responsibility here because part of it was like the first time we did the drunk SAT was Jason Smith, right? And that was a great time. We went to Jason's apartment, I think, and like it was Zach's apartment, sorry. And I printed out the SAT and was prepared and like had brought the alcohol. He was doing it. We were all playing video games and having a good time, and we were giving him shots during the SAT. And then the second time with Jerry, the first time Jerry had to do it, I forgot to print out the SAT, which I think if I had prepared more and gotten it ready, I think it would have been a more seamless production. But I don't think it was as good the second time around because I wasn't as prepared. And so I agree with Jerry's point that like the point of a league event ideally is to like, wow, we have a commitment. Hold on, sorry, I got to stop what I'm saying. Jason McMillan is going to do Waffle House. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. So the idea of a league event
Don't worry,
is like
McMillan, we can go together. It'll be easy.
I mean, yeah. The idea of a league event is like ideally to have other people around to like from the league to like make it a social event. Like the whole point of league events, the whole point of all of this is to establish camaraderie, community, brotherhood, right? So
Not
like
arguing any of this, but let's stop pretending like people didn't start getting back together in 2021.
we didn't
We
have
didn't
my
really do
wedding.
we didn't do league events until like 2022.
Yeah, we did. I didn't do my wedding until 2022.
Okay.
Or my reception, I should say.
That was because places were booked and you couldn't get one.
No, we had our wedding venue. We could have done it with like I think like about 90 or 100 guests in 2021.
My God, we're saying the same thing here. This is getting tedious.
We just weren't doing league events.
Yeah.
To all together like that. It was hard enough to do it at all, and I think like the draft was pretty much it.
You know what
Anyway,
we did? You know what we
for
did
The
two-
whole
do?
point of
for
this
2
was
years.
I was trying to say that Jerry's the only person who's done both. He's the
I
only
have done
person
both.
who can say which one he preferred. I personally would much rather do the SAT than Waffle House.
Ditto.
Jason seems to disagree. He's going to do Waffle House.
So when I did the drunk SAT, it also didn't help that I got blackout drunk before starting it.
Yeah, was it Flor? Did you go to Floriana?
No, we did some brunch place though. But yeah, no, I got very drunk before it, and then I
Yeah.
had to put it together and print all the shit, and then I had to try to do it, and I was fucking miserable. But like having done the Waffle House thing, like no, like I was there for 11 hours. The hour that you and Scotty were there was like the easiest.
Yeah.
Like it flew by. It was nothing. Like having a partner there was just like having anybody there is just
To
like,
talk
oh
to,
no,
to
I mean,
like
yeah. Oh yeah, like. And then I didn't have to like sit there and have awkward conversations with the Waffle House people, being like, "Why are you still here? Are you trying to like train for an eating contest?" No, I don't want to tell you why I'm here. Leave me alone. Just let me fucking sit here.
That's on you then, buddy. We literally got our first round of waffles at 7 a.m. and we're like, hey, we're going to be here for a while.
So this is true, but
And she
you
was
also
like, "Oh,
did it
you're
on
doing the thing. And they immediately knew. And then
yeah,
they were
no,
like,
the group,
talking about it.
the group that I was with, A, did not know. B, you were.
You did
at
go to a different Waffle House.
I went to a different Waffle House. I went to the one on Jefferson, but you guys also went to one on a weekend,
Yeah.
and I was there on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And after like 3 hours, they were like, "Why are you here?" And like, "Are you doing an eating competition?" And I was like, "No, I lost in fantasy football." And they were like, "Fuck." Like, they were not nice about it.
It's funny because it's actually usually the other way around because it's become a common enough thing that a lot of them know about it and they don't like when you do it on weekends when they need the table space. So I'm actually surprised that you had your experience when we had ours. I would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah. I also had to poop in a Waffle House. It was not.
Yeah, that's the rough part. It's barefoot in the bathroom at Waffle House.
Jason and I had
just all over the
Tums,
floor in
we had
there.
baby wipes, we had fiber gummies. Like
I didn't
we
have
were
any of that.
fucking prepared for. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Also, Jason says, I've already done the SAT. You can't repeat. Yes, you can. You can
Yeah, you
very
can.
much repeat.
Definitely can.
Yeah.
Jason, if that's true,
I've come in
then
last 4 times. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
Make up a new punishment.
Not enough punishments to not repeat. We need more punishments. Then.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that Brad threw up in the Waffle House, Jason.
So like, I will. I would
Again,
just,
which I feel like also is a part of the thing. Like, I don't think you're allowed to throw up.
International eating competition rules. That
you
shit
are.
was
I literally. I'm pretty sure I wrote.
All I
hold
know
on.
is that you and Jason went together. You threw up. Jason didn't eat the required number of waffles. I don't want to ever hear anybody bitching. That's all I want to say.
I also.
I think we
wasn't
should
bitching.
I think we should give everybody grace when it comes to this shit.
Oh,
As long as you
no,
try your
hold on,
best,
hold
that's
on.
all that matters.
No. We're gonna do something right now,
100%,
Jerry.
But motherfuckers didn't try for 4 years. That's what I'm mad about. That's what I
Jerry.
wasn't mad at when he stopped at 20 waffle hours. So he
I-
tried.
I want to tell you right now, Jerry, that your exact point that you just made is why I wrote in the Constitution, and I quote, "There is no penalty for a reasonably limited amount of vomited waffles. A good faith effort to this effect is sufficient to complete the punishment."
McMillan says he stands by no repeats. So next year when he comes in last again,
He's gonna have to come up with a
We're
new
gonna
one.
we're gonna have to figure out a new punishment.
Oh, he's just out of the league because he can't fulfill a punishment. Like,
No, because anything can be a punishment as long as you just make it up and make it be that. So as long as it's not fun.
And it gets 5 votes.
I mean, now it's a little bit more
Formalized.
established because before it was just like we're just gonna go do Waffle House and that was good enough.
yeah, it was good enough, and your your protestations are not.
It's not a protest. It's just like no, like that wasn't a voted upon, agreed upon thing, and you guys went and did it, and everybody was cool with it.
Yeah, I think now it's pretty much agreed upon.
That's just it. That's just the end of the story. Like,
I think it's now agreed upon that is a
yes, obviously now it's agreed upon. It's in the Constitution.
Well, right, but I mean, like, but more than that, it's like I think we all recognize that. So, like, again, the point of these punishments is not only first and foremost is again to have everybody there and have a good time and like.
Ideally,
together.
yes,
Which
everybody's
is
there.
why I would rather do the SAT. It's
Wait,
wild.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. But it's also the concept I have.
But
for
the SAT thing also loses a little bit of its like luster when it's like, no, as long as you try your best. If you don't pass the required score, it doesn't really fucking matter. Like, no, I tried my best when I did it, but like, it is what it is. Whereas like Waffle House, like, no, trying your best is still. You're there for 10 hours and you ate 10 waffles.
I was all in favor of the 4 horsemen shot if you don't get the qualifying score for the
yeah,
SAT.
but McMillan broke it because he wanted to do it.
Well, I get it. I'm just saying, like, the idea.
He's a disgusting human being for that.
The idea.
Oh,
He's like, I'm
I
10
passed, so I
shots
don't
in.
get my shot.
Wait, I need my 4 horsemen now.
He also is a math teacher and did not do well at all in the math section. But like the thing about the challenges is the other point I was gonna make was it's about like challenging yourself in some way. The drunk SAT.
I really want to do the bowling one.
Well, but I'm saying the drunk SAT is a mental challenge. You are trying to do the SAT well enough to get the amount of points you need while you are drunk. Like, getting progressively more drunk. The Waffle House, you are pushing your body to its diabetic limits. Like,
yeah, it sucks.
These are things that are like,
I've never been so bloated in my life.
It's almost like Charlie McDennis. It's like physical endurance, mental toughness. Those are that's
you guys always emotionally batter me.
And that's something I want for this. I got what you're doing.
I am now 16 points clear of Zach.
I'd say you're a slight favorite.
It's like 60-40. I think.
Actually, way closer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
Rigo Dowdle's not doing much. But I have Jordan Love versus.
You do have Jordan Love tomorrow. Never mind. I was like, wait a minute.
Jordan Love's gonna pull it. Will Levis go -4?
I'm an ice pickle away from the semifinals.
Oh man. All right, we're gonna call it. Like I said, good luck to Alex and Zach in the 3rd place matchup for $100. good luck to Brad and I in the championship to see who truly is destined for redemption this season. And most of all, thank you to each and every one of you, Jerry, Brad, both of the Jasons in the chat, and everybody who's been watching the podcast all season long. I'm sure that we've had more views this season than we've ever had. I like to think the production quality continues to go up year after year. This one probably is about the same as last year, but maybe a little higher. But we had our 50th anniversary, or our 50th episode this year. We had the slap montage. We had so many great. We had Jerry adding Kendre Miller last week's episode to fuck Zach. Like, there's so many great.
And I'm not even gonna play him this week.
I know, it's so great.
What did he score? He hasn't played yet.
He plays tomorrow night.
He plays tomorrow night.
And if, assuming Rashad White doesn't get another 20 points in the next 18 or 21 minutes of gameplay, I will be benching him to solidify. I mean, if Kendre Miller gets like 6 fumbles and I lose because of that, I'm
more just 30 points and I win by 29.
I will laugh if he goes off, if Kendre Miller goes off, and that would have made the difference in Zach's matchup.
That would be funny.
That'd be really funny.
But the thing is, I don't know who he starts him over if he does play.
Najee Harris.
You think so?
What was Najee's projection? Hold on.
Against Baltimore's run D?
9.7.
Against Baltimore's run D?
I think 9.7 versus 11 for projection wise. Maybe he starts.
I don't see how you start him there.
Again, Najee Harris is pretty
London and
established.
Black.
I also don't expect the Saints to be ahead for much of this game. So if they're down early, I think they're going to have to start passing, and I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't know. I just don't know what to expect out of Kendre Miller. And I'm glad that I don't have to wait for it to come down to that. As I jinx myself just now. Because Rashad White's about to score like 3 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Shut your mouth.
I'll make you a deal, Jerry.
Job's not finished.
If Rashad White has 2 80-yard touchdowns, like if it becomes a game again, we can jump back on the podcast and have you complain about it.
Job's not finished.
Also, Jason asked if he can do his punishment this week. He wants to use the fact that he's off for the holiday break. I mean,
it goes against the whole everybody being there thing.
Well, the Waffle House, so I'll be there anyway.
I won't be able to be there this week, but I mean, honestly, you can do it whenever it's convenient for you.
How about McMillan? How about New Year's Day?
I'll
go with
in town.
Me and you. We'll go do it New Year's Day.
And will Waffle House be up? Let's.
I'm already gonna be in Frederick. I'm gonna be in Frederick on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, I'll go and.
I'm literally googling, is Waffle House open on New Year's Day?
I guarantee you it is. Was there a fucking hurricane? Waffle House isn't closed, right?
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's not Walmart.
I've literally been to a Waffle House on New Year's Day.
I think I've been there on Christmas too at one point. So yeah. So if you do New Year's Day, I will be back in town then. And can be there.
Yeah, because we're all going. Yeah.
So, all right, for real. I love how we only had 3 matchups to recap, and
this is why when you're producing the pod for me and Zach's pod that we're gonna do, it's literally just us talking when we're drunk for an hour.
I'm about to say 3 matchups to recap, 2
Brad,
to
you can be a
predict,
guest star.
and we had an hour and a half of talking. So, we're calling it an hour and a half. I think Brad truly just left. I'm Sean Fitzgerald. He's Jerry LeBlanc. His camera's messed up now thanks to Brad leaving. So, sorry about that. But good luck, Brad and I. Good luck, Alex and Zach. And we'll see you next season.